Broadcasting System presents I Love a Mystery. Transcribed.
How about a few lights, Mrs. Martin?
Nobody calls me Mrs. I don't like it.
What then?
If Randolph Martin isn't good enough for you, call me grandmother. Everyone else does.
Very well. Grandmother Randolph, let's have some lights.
Why?
Unhealthy ideas grow in darkness.
Unhealthy ideas?
Murder's an unhealthy idea.
What are you talking about? Murder is not in this house.
You should know better than that. You saw one of its victims carried out of here last night. You, with the rest of your family, spent most of the night explaining your whereabouts to the police.
Such a fuss over a chauffeur. Not a very good chauffeur at that.
I won't argue that.
Furthermore, the police had their gall suspecting that anyone in this house had anything to do with it.
On the other hand, it's surprising to me they didn't take the whole family down and lock you up.
What are you saying?
Grandmother Randolph, you brought my two companions and me here to get your grandchildren out of some kind of a mess. Isn't that true?
Yes.
You haven't given us the first inkling of what that mess is.
If I knew, do you think I'd call for outside help?
Well, it should be plain even to you that the murder of the family chauffeur is part of that mess.
Nonsense. The police themselves said that he wasn't really a chauffeur, but a member of a confidence ring working here in the motion picture colony.
Nevertheless, he was killed in your house while in your employ.
By members of a rival gang.
Do you know what your chauffeur was doing last night before he came home and got himself shot?
No.
Yes, you do.
If you know that, why do you ask me?
You know that he was out with your granddaughter, Hope, and that he was killed less than 10 minutes after Hope said goodnight to him when they returned.
The police don't know that.
No. Neither do they know that your chauffeur killed a man in a drinking joint out at the beach last night.
What's that?
That he killed the man in the presence of Hope, and that the man fell across their table and bled on Hope's dress. That she gave the dress to the chauffeur to get rid of, and that he still had the dress in his hand when he was shot dead in your front door.
How do you know this, if the police don't?
I've had Doc and Reggie out investigating all night. They just got in half an hour ago. They're up getting some sleep now.
But why don't the police know?
Because the resort where your chauffeur killed his man was a hideout spot for shady characters. Now, don't worry. They'll find out in due time.
My granddaughter, Hope, was in a hideout for criminals?
Yes, I want to ask her about that myself.
Who was the man he killed?
Now, you can read all about that in the paper. Some gambler. They found his body in one of the canyons out on the way up to Malibu Beach.
And shortly after he killed this gambler at this place, my chauffeur himself was killed in my doorway.
That's right.
Then doesn't that prove it was somebody outside, someone revenging himself for the death of the gambler?
There's that possibility, of course.
You seem very anxious to connect this murder with my family, Mr. Packard.
No, I hope you're right. But there are too many suspicious things going on in this house. The center of all the trouble is right here. I'm sure of that.
I've noticed nothing suspicious.
That's not true. You just got through saying the reason you brought Doc and Reggie and me here was because you were uneasy.
What have you noticed?
Well, first, your eldest granddaughter, Fay. She talks loud and vulgar and pretends to be vastly amused. But she's frightened.
Fay, frightened?
Last night, she took some private papers down to the basement and burned them. Why?
I don't know.
Neither do I, but I intend to find out. Then Hope. Why did she go to that beach resort last night? Why did she pretend to be drunk when she came home when she was perfectly sober?
I don't know.
And Cherry. She's been slashed twice and pushed downstairs by someone she's never seen. Why does she talk in that frightened whisper? Who does she mean when she says they are after her? And what does she mean that Hope and her brother Job are in the worst danger?
You can leave Cherry out of this. It's a lot of romantic nonsense.
Twice slashed and thrown downstairs? You call that romantic nonsense? And the baby.
There isn't any baby.
I beg your pardon. I've heard it twice now.
There isn't any baby, I tell you.
Once it cried, and right after that, Cherry was hurled downstairs. Once it laughed and gurgled, and we found the chauffeur shot dead.
It's ridiculous on the face of it. Babies don't laugh and cry on a given cue. How would a baby know that Cherry was about to fall downstairs? How would a baby know that my chauffeur was about to be murdered?
Cherry says the baby cries when someone in the house is in danger. That it laughs when some enemy of the house is in danger.
Cherry's a little fool.
And protestations don't change facts. And facts indicate that something pretty vicious, something cold and calculating and terribly cruel has been unleashed in this house.
You're trying to frighten me.
No, I'm not. I'm reporting to you as my employer, what I've found. And now let's discuss your grandson, Job, for a moment.
Indeed we will not.
Yes, we will. Because Job owns a gun with a silencer on it. And it was a gun with a silencer that killed the chauffeur.
Job wasn't even home.
So he says. But the guns disappeared, and the chauffeur was killed with the same caliber gun as the one Job possessed.
The police don't know?
No, the police don't know this. But I do. And I also know that when Job came home and saw the body in the doorway, he was pretty casual about it.
He wasn't feeling well.
He was intoxicated, I grant you. But even so, he should have been a little surprised and concerned at finding a body lying across the threshold, which he wasn't.
I forbid you to talk like that.
You can't do that.
I can't forbid you to talk?
No.
But I can most certainly remove you from this house.
But you won't.
Why not?
Because then I'll be forced to turn over all my information to the police.
You wouldn't dare.
Yes, I would. If we're kept on to solve the murder in our own way, we'll try to protect you and your grandchildren's names. If you make it impossible for us to work on the case, then we'll have to let the police do it.
I don't trust you.
Well, that depends on what you mean by trust. If no one in this house has committed murder, then we'll cover up for you till the cows come home.
If it should have been someone here.
Then we'll root him out and turn him over to justice.
I knew it. You can't be trusted.
Now, look here. Are you trying to tell me that you think someone in this house committed murder and you brought us here to help you cover up for them?
No, of course not.
It sounds very much like it.
No, all I'm asking you is to be sure. No circumstantial evidence such as the police would use. I'm sure none of my grandchildren has done anything wrong, no matter how much it looks it.
Oh, that's it. You want them protected from court action and publicity until we've cleared them or proved them guilty.
Yes, if they are innocent, and I know they are, to face a charge of murder would ruin us.
You have my word. No one will touch them until we know for sure.
Thank you.
Now then, I've got to talk to Hope and Job. Are they in their rooms?
Yes, it was 5 o'clock this morning before the police left. They're all sleeping.
Well, they should be awake by this time. I'm going up. Listen.
It's a baby crying.
Now maybe you'll believe.
But there isn't any baby.
Wait a minute. That's the warning. Someone's in danger. Quick, upstairs to the bedrooms.
Jack, did you hear that? The baby.
I know it. Come on, Doc. Help me. Look in all the bedrooms.
You bet. Whose room's this?
That's Faye's room. Don't bother to knock.
Hey, what's the idea? Can't a girl go to bed in this house?
Nope, she's all right.
What's the idea of raiding a girl's bedroom?
The baby. Someone's in danger.
The baby. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Hey, wait for me.
This is Job's room.
Doc, run up the third floor and look in Sherry's room.
You bet you, on the run.
Yeah.
Well, this is my old friend from the morgue.
No, so you're up and dressed. You all right?
It never better in my life. Have a little drink?
Aren't you ever sober? Didn't you hear that baby crying?
I dreamed about a baby last night. Red hair. She was in a French bikini bathing suit.
Nuts.
Is Job all right, is he?
Drunk. Which is Hope's room?
This way. This way.
It's either got to be Hope or Cherry.
This room. What's that smell?
Chloroform. Get those windows open.
Look, the pillows over Hope's face.
Get that window open. Do you hear me?
Yes. Is she dead? Is she dead?
No, she's alive.
But she looks so white.
Get out of the way. I'm going to lift her out of bed and take her over that window.
What shall I do?
Just get out of the way. There.
What is it? What's the matter with Hope?
Somebody tried to kill her with chloroform.
Faith, haven't you an ounce of modesty? Go get something over that nightgown.
But, Grandma, they tried to kill Hope.
Get something on over that nightgown.
Oh, horse feathers.
Here, put this blanket around before I smack you.
Apparently my modesty is more important than Hope's life.
Now then, Mr. Packard.
Forget it. She's going to be all right.
What's this nonsense about chloroform?
Use your nose. Another 15 minutes, you'd have been minus one granddaughter.
Here, put this blanket around Hope.
What's the matter with you? Your granddaughter near death, and all you can think about is my seeing her in pajamas.
I'll keep my granddaughters modest if this house falls down around my ears.
Greetings and salutations, Grandma, old girl.
Joe, go back to your room.
What? Mr. Fun?
Joe, you're in no condition to be here. Go back to your room.
What's this? Love in our midst. The man from the morgue holding the family wench in his arms. Huh?
Joe, you're impossible. Hope is almost chloroformed. She's unconscious.
Oh, no, not Hope. She's only playing dead. She likes it.
Get that drunken fool out of here.
Please, Job, come with me.
Poor, pathetic old Grandma. Have a lot of trouble with your family of rats, don't you?
Job, be a good boy.
All right. Bye-bye, man from the morgue. Great old house we live in, isn't it, Grandma?
The Martin family at home.
Doesn't your brother like Hope?
He adores her. She's his favorite sister.
Funny way of showing it.
Nothing gets under his skin when he's in that condition.
It seems to be all the time.
Look, how is she?
Better than I hoped for. It'll take her a couple, 3 hours to sleep off the effects of the chloroform. Now we can put her back in bed now.
One of her feet is there, so look the other way.
Your grandmother's a little touched on the subject of modesty, isn't she?
I think she must bathe in long underwear.
There. I'll just cover her lightly.
Jack, look what I got. Poor little feller.
Jerry, what's the matter with her?
She's unconscious. This is just like I found her.
Now lay her down. Let me see her.
Looky at her. Clothes doggone near tore off her. Oh, look at that bruise on her leg.
Here she's bleeding on the back. Turn her over.
Yeah, I know it. There.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
Hey, Jack, look. She's been slashed again.
Yes, 3 times, right above the hip. Not deep.
Like it'd been done with a safety razor blade.
You Martin girls are certainly unpopular with somebody.
Ain't it the truth? Murder sure is on the loose in this man's house.
The further transcribed adventures of Jack, Doc, and Reggie will come to you tomorrow at this same hour. I Love a Mystery, written and directed by Carlton E. Morse, comes to you Monday through Friday, featuring Russell Thorson as Jack, Jim Bowles as Doc Long, and Tony Randall as Reggie York. Frank McCarthy speaking.
Listeners, I'd like you to hear a letter from a 4-year-old girl. The little girl is a French youngster, and I can tell you that our writer and producer, Carlton E. Morse, knows that it comes from the heart. Perhaps you'd like to tell us why you know Mr. Morse.
All right, Mr. Thorson, but I'd like first for Mr. Randall to read the letter just as it was written. How about it, Tony?
All right. Dear Papa, I want all the children to be happy for Christmas as I am. Will you please help me get presents for them? Your little Jacqueline.
That letter is from Jacqueline Complay, my French foster child. It was after becoming a foster parent that I realized the lack of any happiness and hope, which is the heritage of 1 million war children over there. Please listen while Mr. Thorson tells you what you can do to give these little ones a real Christmas this year.
Listeners, start right away to gather toys and discarded but serviceable articles of children's clothing. Then here's what's next. Place them in a carton or wrap in heavy paper. Tie them securely with strong twine. Address them to Foster Parents Plan for War Children Warehouse, 530 47th Avenue, Long Island City, New York. That's 530 47th Avenue, Long Island City, New York. Take them to the Railway Express office nearest you. There will be no cost to you for shipping. Remember to do it now. And remember that you, too, can be a Santa Claus for all of God's children.
This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.